Go ahead, sir.
Hello, I'm Norberto Moreno. I brought my children here with me today since they are our future. So I wanted to make sure that they got a chance to be heard. I did hear the hearings as it was going on, and y'all were asking TCEQ questions. There's a few things that were mentioned, and the way the conversation was going earlier that really did concern me. You guys mentioned that ADRs were toothless. I believe it was user in the red jacket. It's hard to see whose names are from this angle, but you mentioned that ADRs are toothless and that they delay things and that they make it harder to get permits. Someone also mentioned, I think it was Mr. Bell, he mentioned that it's easier to pass a kidney stone than to get a permit. I think that's what I heard, which to me is ridiculous. It's actually very easy to get a permit. You guys also mentioned that, it was mentioned that y'all talk a lot about how TCEQ can make decisions with the companies and they can keep it from being in litigation. It was also brought up that that these companies that ask for these permits, if there is a permit brought, that if there is a complaint brought against them, that they can come to an agreement within TCEQ to stop litigation from taking place, which actually removes those facts from public records. So we don't know who's responsible for what and how this is taking place. There's also, I did want to make another point. The TCEQ rep that was speaking most of the time, he also mentioned that he mentioned that he does understand the cost of it, that the cost is very high, but that he doesn't understand the impact of the new plants that were recommended for them. You guys also mentioned kicking the can down the road for 10 years. Somebody even mentioned kicking the can down the road for 60 years. It's just been too long without change. It's been too long without accountability. So that's what I'm here to ask for you guys to really do something at this point in time. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Hello, I'm Joshua Moreno, and I'm speaking for myself and part of my family. Whenever I drink water and I go outside, I think about the people who can't. I think about people and places like Cancer Alley. If you go to Cancer Alley, you can't play in the grass, you can't touch mulch, and you can't do anything with that because it's over 10 times the amount that is safe for you to touch the grass in toxic waste levels. People who have asthma and cancer get that 10 times worse over there. And then now that y'all permitted a batch plant near James Drive, which is a place for kids who have disabilities and stuff like that, for a park like that, you let them open a batch plant, which makes the people with asthma be able to have less breathing time, and there's more of a chance for them to get cancer because of all the particles and chemicals that are into the air. So what I am asking is that you make this a safer place and that you reduce chemicals and make this place have less batch plants. There's so many batch plants that it makes you want to not even go outside because you feel like you're just going to inhale a bunch of chemicals. I want to play with my dogs and go outside, but now there's a chance that my dogs and me, whenever we go outside, they can get diseases and I can get diseases and special things that aren't supposed to happen usually because we have more than the safe amount of chemicals in the air. And I would just like to point that out, that people like me, kids like me, we are more vulnerable to these because we like to play outside and have fun. So whenever we do this, we are more exposed to the chemicals and the asthma treatments and stuff like that. So I ask that you make more stuff to help the environment.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Norberto Moreno, and I'm 15 years old. While I agree that pollution is a byproduct of economic growth, it is a shame that the state agency that is responsible for protecting the environment that determines my life expectancy sides with economic development over the quality of life of all Texans. In preparing to speak before all of you in my state capital, I've come to the understanding that the leaders of my state continually ignore and deny climate science. Individuals who side with economic development over the lives of my fellow Texans should not be the ones who appoint the individuals that decide if I live cancer-free. Thank you.
Thank you.
Allow me a second.
Hi, I am Amadeo Moreno, and I am addressing the actions of TCEQ for allowing multiple permits to be authorized within close range of to residents that have been living here long enough for things to change and for things to grow. But it did not. The amount of businesses that can get permits to pollute the air around people and the water they drink should not result in suggestions. We have been waiting for 10 years just to make a statement. And as using the metaphor that they have said before, kicking the can down the road, it's just we've just only been suggesting. We need to take action. I want the city that I grew up in, and I'm still growing up in, to be free of cancer clusters, which shouldn't even be a word that shouldn't even exist. But I want it to be free of that being right outside my door. I don't want that to be a thing that I grow up with. And yet, these businesses should not be able to get permission to create these plants and these pollution creating factories right next to residents that live here. And yet the TCEQ gave them anyway. They have the results that prove the pollution is very high and in the red. It's there, it's on their website, and yet they still make the decision to give the permit. They should have meetings beforehand with actual residents that live in the area that actually know the lay of the land, and that there are many kids or many people or living people that are there that are susceptible to these batch plants, even though it's labeled as a industrial area, even though there's like tons of neighborhoods around. So I just hope that you take action to make this possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair calls Rick Galvan. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, my name is Noe Moreno. I'm here with my father, and I'm 17. Something that I really wanted to focus, my brother's covered the rest of what needed to be covered, and so I wanted to focus more on information. We live in a golden age of technology of where you want to learn anything, you simply go to Google or Edge or Firefox or whatever. And so I think it's very dumb and inefficient with the fact on how sloppy and messy that the website is. We should be able to, I want to know what the air quality is in my neighborhood and in other neighborhoods around Houston. I should be able to just go to the website and it be very easy for me to understand, oh, this area has a high amount of pollution. I don't understand why there hasn't been systems implemented to understand that quickly and easily. When we make apps and websites lickety-split, they come out so easy. I also don't think it takes millions to create a streamlined and understandable website. You can outsource it to someone and it would be so much faster. And so I don't understand why residents and people who already struggle with speaking English and understanding English have to go through so much technical jargon and convoluted methods to try and get information about the area that they live in. So what I'm asking of you today is to make it easier for the common man to understand, for the common person to be able to come up here and make a well-structured speech without having to hire consultants, without having to spend hours and hours and days on trying to create and go through this heaping pile of confusing information. That's all.
Thank you.